In a scandal that could make even seasoned kleptocrats blush, the Ministry of Local Government, hand in glove with the Harare City Council, has been caught red-handed parceling out nearly 100 hectares of Harare's choicest land to none other than ZANU-PF's favorite property speculator and flamboyant snowman, Philip Chiyangwa. The land grab, disguised as a sale, is being handed to Pinnacle Holdings, Chiyangwa's personal cash magnet, for the laughable price of less than $6 million US. That's less than the cost of a few fancy apartments in Borodale. Yet it grants access to land worth hundreds of millions in potential development profits. What makes this even more revolting is the brazen sense of entitlement that cloaks the whole transaction. There is no competitive bidding, no public consultation, no strategic urban planning, just a quiet handover of national heritage to one of the regime's most ostentatious insiders. If land were a national cake, the people wouldn't even be allowed to sniff it. Instead, they are forced to watch as the entire slice is gobbled down by men in suits who couldn't point to the Constitution even if it were embroidered on their neckties. Meanwhile, the actual citizens of Harare, especially the millions patiently rotting on the housing waiting list, get nothing. Not a square meter, not even hope. The housing backlog continues to balloon, mocking the dreams of families who have spent decades submitting forms, paying fees, and waiting for a miracle. But the only miracles in Harare are those that happen when you carry a ZANU-PF card and know which minister's ego to massage. Decades have passed without the city council allocating land to individuals. But there's always land for party chefs. There's always land for land barons and well-connected wheeler dealers. This city has become a feeding trough for politically connected hyenas who eat first, second, and third, leaving the bones for everyone else. While ordinary citizens scrounge for space to build homes, council minutes show land being handed to companies with shady ownership and ghost addresses, often with councillors themselves listed as directors. And indeed, Mayor Mafume himself has benefited from this corruption. If you are poor and without connections, your only allocation comes in the form of a demolition notice tabbed to your shack. Build out of desperation? Demolished. Join a housing cooperative from the Mugabe era? Demolished. Try to regularize your structure? Ignored. The system isn't broken. It's working exactly as designed to humiliate and uproot the poor while rewarding loyalty with title deeds and farmland. The desperate poor resort to building so-called illegal structures on unallocated land. But ask yourself this: illegal according to whom? When for decades the council has failed to provide any legal options. Is it really illegal? Or it is just inconvenient for the land barons who now want the space? The law in Zimbabwe is like a GPS with no power. Useful in theory, but practically irrelevant unless you have paid someone to turn it on. Residents build where they can because land access has been turned into an exclusive casino where only the rich are dealt winning hands. The hypocrisy is Olympic level. On one hand, the council, ironically pegged with opposition councillors, is being used as a demolition squad, tearing down homes of struggling residents who built on illegal land. These councillors, elected to defend the very people they now displace, have become pawns in a regime strategy to punish urban voters. If Mnangagwa wanted to prove that democracy doesn't matter, he's certainly getting help from the very opposition that was meant to resist him. But ask yourself again, who benefits? The land is cleared, the people scattered, and the developers roll in with cranes and concrete to build luxury estates that no ordinary Zimbabwean can afford. This is not accidental. It's policy by proxy. Councillors are being seduced by allocations of land themselves, rewarded for their silence and complicity. Their job is no longer to represent the people, it's to sweep them out of the way like political litter. MPs are not spared either. What's worse is the historical regression. Say what you will about Muzorewa, Ian Smith, or even Robert Mugabe, but at least under their regimes, ordinary citizens got a fighting chance at land. Muzorewa opened up Glenview and Budiriro. The Rhodesians gave Glenora, Highfields. Mugabe's government, as flawed as it was, allowed housing cooperatives to sprout and offer hope for the landless urban masses. Today, those areas stand as monuments to what was once possible when the state saw housing as a public good rather than a private profit machine. But under Mnangagwa, it's a full reversal. Land is no longer being given. It's being taken back from the poor and redistributed upwards to the elite. Even housing cooperatives that were sanctioned and registered under Mugabe are now being bulldozed under the pretext of illegality. It's like handing someone a housewarming gift 1 year and burning it down the next because the guest list changed. Mnangagwa's government isn't fixing the land crisis, it's weaponizing it. And this isn't just ZANU-PF's doing. It's being enabled by opposition-led councillors, too dazed or too compromised to resist. Once proud representatives of the urban electorate are now glorified land agents, rubber stamping evictions and demolitions with the same pens they used to sign campaign pledges. Their silence is not just betrayal, it's collaboration. It's a twisted irony. The very urban areas that overwhelmingly voted for the opposition are now being punished with the demolitions executed by opposition councillors under the guidance of a ZANU-PF minister. It's a political bait and switch so crude it would make Machiavelli ask for a rewrite. The message is clear. If you don't vote ZANU-PF, the land you live on will be reclaimed, not for development, but for vengeance. So while Pinnacle Holdings cashes in and Philip Chiyangwa lines up another villa to add to his empire, the average Harare resident is being evicted, criminalized, and humiliated. The only urban expansion happening under Mnangagwa is the growing distance between the poor and the promise of land. Chiyangwa builds mansions, the people get rubble. This is not urban renewal, it's urban revenge. Land is no longer a right, but a reward for loyalty and silence. And as long as bulldozers are used as tools of political expression, Harare will remain a city not of progress, but of punishment. Subscribe to Zimwaves TV, where we expose the rot, bulldoze through the lies, and allocate truth. No corruption fee required. Your subscription is more powerful than their demolition order.
Munoda kusiya nyika yaondomoka ere, munoda kusiya nyika yatandaza ere. Chiyendai chinhu chichakanaka, dzatikunda. Chiyendai zvakwana, chiyendai kunozorora. Gore riye makaputanyika, gore riye makamira sarudzo, gore riye makauraya vanhu, gore rino matinyadzisa. Sadhaki yose matinyadzisa, matinyadzisa. Nyaiwe iwe nangagwa, nyaiwe iwe nangagwa, nyaimi vanhu vezano, nyaimi vanhu vezano. Munoda kusiya nyika yave mamembe, munoda kusiya nyika yaondomoka. Munoda kusiya nyika yatandaza. Chiyendai chinhu chichakanaka, chiyendai asha dzisati dzatikunda. Chiyendai zvakwana, chiyendai kunozorora. Nyaiwe iwe nangagwa, nyaiwe iwe nangagwa, nyaimi vanhu vezano, nyaimi vanhu vezano. Munoda kusiya nyika yave mamembe, munoda kusiya nyika yaondomoka. Munoda kusiya nyika yatandaza. Gore riye makaputanyika, gore riye asha dzisati dzatikunda, gore riye makauraya vanhu, gore rino matinyadzisa. Sadhaki yose matinyadzisa. Chiyendai chinhu chichakanaka, chiyendai asha dzisati dzatikunda. Chiyendai zvakwana, chiyendai kunozorora. Chiyendai naiwe iwe nangagwa, naiwe iwe nangagwa, nyaimi vanhu vezano. Munoda kusiya nyika yave mamembe, munoda kusiya nyika yaondomoka. Munoda kusiya nyika yatandaza. Chiyendai chinhu chichakanaka, chiyendai asha dzisati dzatikunda. Chiyendai zvakwana, chiyendai kunozorora. Naiwe